give this stuff away for free. Wait a minute. I did give it away for free for 6 fucking months. And you know what happened? 95% of the people who got that information for free did not even crack open one fucking course. And the 5% who did amazing things. And many of those people in the 5% bought more courses.
I'm a renegade and I'm feeling fine. Cutting loose things hard up mount. I'm the real thing, set me on tonight. I'm gonna swing under all these lights, so I feel the pressure rushing in. Keep my life on me.
What's going on, gentlemen? It's something that's real interesting. And welcome to another edition to Every Man is a Millionaire. I've noticed over the last year that a lot of people in various Shopify spaces, fitness spaces, have been putting out information about holding companies, LLCs, not much about C Corp and partnerships and trust. And I've been looking at this for a long time. I'm not going to say that their information is wrong. Some of it's okay, but I'm going to say in virtually every case it's incomplete. You're starting a holding company. You're starting an LLC. I've seen videos with business credit. If you have a score of 720, you can get the American Express Platinum, Chasing. You can get all that with some very high limits. What is missing from this issue? What is missing from the situation? And one of the things that I see time and time again is an LLC, a holding company, is nothing without money and assets. It's absolutely nothing. I think people are romanticizing business. Entrepreneurs are hot. Entrepreneurship is hot. Being a grinder, a hustler. There's new entrepreneurial art. There's all this stuff that's going on. But in this conversation, very few people are talking about selling and marketing and the nuts and bolts and dynamics, because once again, without those nuts and bolts, you can't put together your financial plan. And I keep seeing this, and I see people who put out really good information. What was her name? Aiden Kramer. I think she got married. All Up in Your Business. She changed it. She put out great information. Channel, not a lot of views. So what I'm beginning to assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are more people who are interested in the entertainment aspect of being an entrepreneur than actually being an entrepreneur. A video that I did on Disruptive Male talking about how women wanted to be married, but they weren't interested in being a wife. That's the title of it if you want to check it out. That's what's happening with this space. I'm seeing people who normally don't make these videos, they're making them, they're going on and on. The people are like, yeah. And I saw this comment. Thanks, man, for giving me this free information. You know, the information that an attorney and a CPA would charge $250, $300 an hour. And I was just like, oh my God. Do you think Facebook watched a YouTube video to create their C Corp? Do you think Microsoft, I don't even think YouTube was around when Facebook created, but any new company is watching YouTube videos to create their corporations? You really think that's happening? Typically, a company is going to spend 25 up to a few million for their legal framework. And why are they spending so much money? Because this legal framework has to last a long time. It has to be specific to their needs. It must, and if it's a company that's going to do business internationally, it must address international laws. So it's a lot, and it's going to take a lot of time to put it together. And this is one of the reasons that I've changed the direction of this channel, and I'm adding another channel. I can't help everybody, but I can help a few. What we're going to do is learn how to build real businesses. And one of the things I'm going to do is separate the wheat from the chaff, because there's a lot of people, you ain't interested in building a business. Let's just keep it real. What do they say? Let's keep it a buck. You're not interested in building a business. You want the results of a business. You want the lifestyle of a business, but you don't want the work of the business. And you know what? Fine. Cool. Awesome. There ain't nothing here for this channel for you. There ain't nothing here. It's steeped in hard work, diligence, making sacrifices. And I'm going to say it again. And Anyone that wants to challenge me, I'm going to call you out in the video. It's going to take you 3 to fucking 10 years to get your business where you want it to be. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing, unless you're just extremely talented or fucking lucky. And I have people pushing back, and Kylie or whatever your name is, you still haven't provided any receipts. I wonder why. And I'll just say, hey, you know, it's a simple question. I know you got the notification. I know you can answer. You know why you aren't answering? Because you were not talking about the same thing I was talking about. I want you guys to fucking win, but you're not going to win playing these fucking games. It ain't going to happen. It's just... before we got any results. And why did they spend $200K with me before getting any results? Well, this is what happens. First, we got to get in there and figure out what the fuck's going on. I can't just like take you at your word. Yeah, I'm doing this because, you know, I talked to the client. So he said we had a referral program. They didn't. They had a sales process. They didn't. They had none of this stuff. He thought he had this, but he did not. So it was 4 months of cleaning up all this stuff. And then once it was all cleaned up and once the people were trained, boom, month 5, doubled revenue, which was more than what they were paying me. And this is where it is, because you know why I charge so much money? I really would give this stuff away for free. Wait a minute. I did give it away for free for 6 fucking months. And you know what happened? 95% of the people who got that information for free did not even crack open one fucking course. And the 5% who did amazing things. And many of those people in the 5% bought more courses. 95% of you are fucking fooling yourselves. You are not going to win the lottery. You're not going to start this amazing business. It's just going to blow up with just a little finger of effort. It ain't happening. So with that, for the heroes, for the folks who are still here, because once again, I have no magic jelly beans. I have no potions. I put stuff in these videos that will help you be successful. And a lot of you are too fucking lazy to apply it. So what's going to happen? We're going to get a little crazy. We're going to get very practical. We're going to get into the technical level. And I'm building out a new platform. Disruptive Money is going to launch September 1st, and it's going to be very, very different from Hustler's Kung Fu Life Skills, which is awesome. But this is going to be like Hustler's Kung Fu Life Skills on crack, coke, steroids. It's going to be amped up because it's going to be smaller. I'm only going to deal with folks who really, really want to change their life circumstances. It's funny. I used to live in a boarding house. I made it out of there. Not in a year. It took me, you know, the whole process, it took me about 2.5 years to leave the boarding house to get to the point of being self-employed. 2.5 years. And I keep hearing this stuff about social media and awareness. Everybody doesn't know how to use social media. And I'm going to tell you why. If you've been on social media, any site, Facebook, Instagram, I barely know how to use Instagram. I'll be honest about that because it was like, okay, I did this. It was working, but it wasn't working. But I do YouTube. That works like a motherfucker. So what I'm doing is staying in my lane. I know how to do YouTube. I know how to create videos. That's where I'm going to stay. And I'm getting rid of all this other stuff because there's a lot of romanticizing the life of an entrepreneur. There's a lot of fantasy and flights of fancy. People just don't want to do the work. And this is why I'm waiting on this recession. In my Facebook group, I posted, you know what the employers are doing? They're waiving requirements. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to even have a high school diploma because they need bodies, right? Now, let me tell you, that is the first basic job market. That's your Uber drivers, that's your Amazon Flex, that's your people who are picking fruit. This is your people waiting at Starbucks and all this other stuff. This is not for the plum jobs. This isn't for the 70,000 jobs. It surely ain't for the $150,000 a year jobs. This is just for a lot of grunt work. Now, same thing happened before the last recession. See, this is the thing. Go ahead, Google it, check it out. We had the highest GDP like 2007, and this is just all over again. We have no doc loans. I'm just like, it's all happening all over again. And people want to believe that these things are going to help them, or they're going to, come up on the Bitcoin come up. Once again, what did I tell y'all? I said it was going to crash to the level it crashed the last month. And I said it would go up again. And I said it was going to crash again. What did it do? What did it do? People are like, I have a hater on Facebook, and he was like, yeah. He's silent as fuck right now because he's scared that I'm going to be right. And I am going to be right. And all you folks like, oh, Glenn is wrong with Bitcoin. There's only 1% of the United States population invested in Bitcoin, and we pretty much have a lot of the investment in Bitcoin. 1%. 1% out of 340 million people. Yeah, that's going to just take off. Part of where I want to get you guys is I want you guys to be successful. And if I have to be an asshole, I have to be a drill sergeant to make this happen, because I get a lot of people, and I'm going to be honest with you. I had this one guy question. He's like, look, it's going to take everything I have, for me to do the 3-month plan, which is gone. I got rid of that. And I remember telling him, don't do it. And this is why. And this is something that happened to me. Years ago, I was broke. And I did something that's stupid. And this is why I don't play the lottery anymore. I just felt that I spent $250 on lottery tickets. I was going to win. I lost $50. I got 200 of it back, and I lost $50. And I said, fuck this. I am never playing the lottery again. I did that because I was down. I was out. I know where you are, and that shit ain't going to work. It's going to be practical, sustained effort that's going to get you where you want to be. And it ain't going to happen in the fucking few weeks. And it ain't going to happen in a fucking few months. Let that shit go. I don't know what it is with you people who feel that you're going to be, I ain't even gonna get into it. I'm not even getting into it. It's just frustrating to see people spin their wheels on bullshit. And then I have provided information that if you have followed, like many of you did, and once again, appreciate you guys. I got guys who, when they found this channel, they were making minimum fucking wage. A lot of these guys are making 6 figures now. Didn't happen in a day, didn't happen in a week, didn't happen in a month. It took a few years. Morris, I remember when he got laid off, and this was years ago, and he said, I ain't even worried about getting laid off. I'm gonna get a service package, I'm gonna get unemployment, and I already make more money from my hustle, thanks to you, than I did from my job. I want you guys to be there, but a lot of you wanna play too much. And I can't help you. So with that, I'm letting this go. A lot of the information on this channel is going to drastically change. I'm going to start stunning. I'm really going to start stunning. You just won't believe this, but I am. And for the folks who are really interested in 10xing and 20xing their income with a lot of fucking hard work, I have this for you. I'm getting ready to launch Disruptive Money, how to 10x, 20x your income, September 1st. I want you to sign up here for dibs on the launch. But I got something a little extra for you. So hold on. Let me put this in gman@gmail.com. You go ahead and sign up. And booyah. We're doing something a little different. Thanks for getting on the waiting list for Disruptive Money. Invite friends and earn amazing rewards and free courses. What's going to happen is you sign up, you're 0, you get 5 people, you get 25% off of a course. You get 10 people, you get 50% off of a course. If you find 15 people, you get a free course. If you find 25 people that sign up under your code, you will get a free course and $50 sent to you via PayPal. No rebates, no refunds, but just straight up. I'll even send like $53, $54 so you get the straight 50. This is what we're doing with this launch. So go ahead, just go ahead and copy your code. This tracks everybody, so it's automatic tracking, automatic affiliates. So whatever you do will be monitored. And if you get like crazy and do 50 or 60 or 70 or 100 people, I got something super special for you. But that's it. Just go ahead, sign up today, share it with your friends and family. Disruptive Money is going to be very different. Disruptive Money, legal strategies to win the world of economics. Now, what does that mean? I did a lot of risky type stuff to get where I'm at. Not illegal stuff, but risky nonetheless. And we're going to talk about those tactics. We're going to talk about those methodologies. We're going to talk about those strategies. Some people would call these dark strategies, but there's more to come. And it launches September 1st. So if you want to be, I figured y'all would like that straight cash. And I'm going to mess around with that a little bit. So today we're going to talk about summer programming is over. Summer pricing is over. I got a deal. No, actually, one of my real estate deals came through. We'll talk about that in a minute. One of the things I wanted to impress, because I've noticed this starting last year with people putting out videos about holding companies, LLCs, trust and stuff. And I started, for a long, long time, my videos ranked real high. I mean, and Aiden Kramer's from All Up in Your Business, I love that girl. And all of a sudden, they started to get displaced by stuff that is bullshit. I'm going to actually tell you something I saw the other day. And if you don't believe me, you can look it up. Someone who was doing this, talking about this company, said that you can lease a car and you can write off the lease and you can write off the mileage. The Internal Revenue Service ain't that generous. They ain't going to let you do both. And I was like, oh, here we go. So now what's going to happen is people are going to take this advice, then they're going to file their taxes, and they're going to be, whoa, that didn't work. So everybody that's talking about this stuff is going to be cast with suspicion. Now, this thing isn't on yet. This is probably about 2 years out, 3 years out, because I'm seeing a lot of kids who have businesses who are making money, and they're only giving like bits and pieces of this information, or they're not really well schooled in it. And I was like, okay, so what happens is kind of like, you know what, good example, what happens to eBay. You have an item on eBay, a lot of people can't get it, does very well. But all of a sudden you have people coming on YouTube talking about that item, BOLO, people go get it. So the item was once selling for $200, now selling for $29.99. That is what I see with much of the information that is going to be forthcoming. Because there's going to be more. There's going to be more people talking about it. There's going to be more YouTubers talking about it. And yeah, I mean, Aiden, I don't know. Well, actually, I do know why she doesn't have as many views as she should. She should be 100K subscribers, millions of views. But the reality is many, many people are in love with the entertainment of business. Many people are in love. It's the fascination of someone that can go out, build a business. It's like people who like to watch people playing video games. It's the same thing. Instead of participating in the sport of business, they're perfectly fine watching someone else play the game of business, but which is cool. But many of them act like they're business people too, but they're not. And that's where it starts to get a little crazy, and then the information goes to hell. So what I'm going to do with, because the thing is, actually, I don't have it written down, but I think, because I was talking about the 7th is gone for the coaching, the 7th is gone, the 8th is gone, and the 9th is almost gone. So for anyone that signs up today, or, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. What I want you guys to be successful, and I'm only talking to a few of y'all. There are many of you who, for one reason or another, you just ain't gonna put in the work. And I know this is a Donald Downer video. It's like I'm supposed to inspire you and motivate you. Motivation is an inside job. If you're not motivated enough to look up what you want to do, if you're not motivated enough to become well schooled in whatever discipline or business you want to be in, I can't help you with that. And we're getting to the crunch time, because a lot of people, and you've got folks here on YouTube who are saying that housing isn't going to crash, and housing has already crashed. This is how I got my deal. It is a $900,000 property that I'm probably going to be able to get into for $750,000 and then make improvements. And going to that, I remember someone said, why was I putting out so many offers? And this is part of the sales process, until you actually get in it, you're on the sidelines. Because the thing is, I just knew that a lot of stuff was going to come up. I knew there was one property I was looking at. We got to the inspection level, needs a new roof, has plumbing issues, has sewer issues, all kinds of stuff. It's a money pit. And, someone was just saying, hey, I'm a rookie. I am a rookie, but I'm a rookie with loot. I'm a rookie with a little bit of experience. But I had to make a lot of offers. I had to show up. I had to be present. I had to work my ass off just to get that one deal. I ended up putting out about 40 offers for one deal. And the deal had to be right. The deal had to be one that I could climb into and realize some gains in the end. And this is not going to be typical flipping. I may even do a whole channel on this. It's not going to be the typical real estate stuff that you're seeing here on YouTube, because everyone's trying to be a wholesaler. People are trying to flip stuff. People are trying to hey, you can make money in real estate with no money, no credit. That's just hard. That's just really, really hard. So it's about having a vision. It's about, and I'll even tell you a minute why I chose this route. Now, a recession is coming, no doubt about it. And Donald's tariffs are not helping. They're going to actually accelerate it. So why would someone get into high-end real estate? Because I live in the neighborhood. I know this neighborhood. I know it very well. I lived in the neighborhood during the recession. I know exactly what behavior happens. I know why I know it. And what do they say? Real estate is location, location, location is local. So for me to go cross country and try to buy some property and not know that market would be foolish. It'd be foolish. And I would just be jumping into an area I don't know, but this I know, and that's why I'm doing it. A lot of things about to happen with the training. The training is going to be geared on sales and marketing. Now, once again, let's talk about this, because a lot of people want to buy ads. I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have significant money, and I'm talking about $1,000 to $5,000 to spend per month, by the time that you spend and scale Facebook, AdWords, Google Display Net, all of them going to change the rules on you. It's still doable, but it's not as doable as it used to be, because you got to move really, really quick. If you noticed, I stopped YouTube advertising because YouTube was playing this game. When I first started doing YouTube advertising, I would get for $100, like 10,000. Let's see. Let me be clear. $100, about 10,000 views. It was dirt cheap. But also with the YouTube advertising, I had a lot of desktop and I had a lot of laptop views, and it all switched to where 60 something, almost 70% of YouTube traffic is mobile. That's a whole different game. That's a whole different frame. That's a whole different attention model, things you have to do. And my stuff isn't really ripe for mobile because I have to create it a certain way. And the ones that I did create it for mobile, they did well. I got 80 and about high 60s to 80%, 82, 90, 89 was my highest view through rate. And I'm telling you this is because there's so many people out there who will gas you up and say you can do what they're doing, but they're not telling you exactly what they're doing. So what I see from many of you, let's say you're in not broke dick Danny status, but you're a regular guy, you got a regular job, you got maybe $100-200 a month extra to spend on something. And spending it on Facebook ads, I would not advise that. Spending it on YouTube ads, I would not advise that. I would advise finding a direct response model. I turned off the paid traffic for this YouTube channel, went direct response January, I believe. And I made 4 times the money that I made last year from just a passive deal. What we're going to do is we're going to build what's called a hustle business first, and then prep to move into a real business, because you are not going to start a business with absolutely no money and scale it up fast enough to get past these barriers, because the 9.9% is happening here on the internet. The rich get richer. If you notice that YouTube rolls out all the updates to the people who already have millions of subscribers, from a business model standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. But the rich keep getting richer, and what's going to happen, because the internet is still kind of wide open, but you can see what's happening. One of the reasons that Disruptive Mail is doing so well is I already had a YouTube channel. I already had something to start it off. So just coming from absolutely nothing it's still doable. It's still possible, but you're going to need some money. I'm just going to be blunt with you guys. You're going to need some money. This whole notion that you're going to use a free template, free website, use YouTube, free, it ain't going to work like you think it's going to work. As someone who does it, who's done it, who saw the math of the diminishing returns, it just ain't. And what's going to happen is a lot of you are going to get caught behind the 8 ball, and you're going to be pissed off. Be very, very pissed off. James Strasher, people need to become minimalists first. That's a thought. The minimalists clear out unnecessary junk, material, relationships, distractions from your life, and focus on what's important. This will allow the necessary free time to focus on your business. I don't call that minimalism. I call that getting your life in order, because that's something that I did, and that's something I talk about. I don't put the term, because minimalism is a new trend, and I'm not putting that word on it, but I've said it. If you got a car with a high car note on it, if you can get out of it, sell it and get yourself a car that's paid cash for, and get your bullets going, your dollars of bullets. So I agree with that. Stefan, to you, yeah, you're just on the sidelines, because once again, just like the parallels between Disruptive Mail and Every Man is a Millionaire are so stark. A lot of guys consume the content of Disruptive Mail. They do not deploy the content of Disruptive Mail. You know how I know when someone deployed the content? The comments. Dude, I didn't think that was going to work. I did it, and it worked. I don't get a lot of those comments because most folks are on the sideline. They're like, because I got a serious story that's coming up on Disruptive Mail, how Jesse Williams was my wingman. Y'all going to love that one. Oh man, I almost forgot about that. You gonna love that one. That's gonna come later today. But you got to deploy the knowledge, and this is why I'm on this free thing because I did it just to see what would happen. I didn't do it long, and I stopped it. But I started giving a free trial to this Talk Dirty to Me. Sales went down because it was like, well, he's getting it for free. It must not be that valuable. This is how people think. It used to be early internet. Free stuff worked really well. It was amazing. But today, that's a very hard business model to make work unless you can get a lot of people to take up on your offer where you scale up your email list. With the offer that I'm doing now, you can get a free course, but you're going to have to work for it. You're just not going to walk in there. So, someone goes ahead and I want to give out because I might make it $100. I might make it. You get a free course and $100. You bring me 25 people. It's well worth it. And I'm going to give you the math on that. And I'll tell you stuff other folks won't see. When I was spending $100 to get 10,000 views, I made that $100 back plus about 1,500. So I spend 100, I make $1,600. The math worked great on that. Then what happened is the math flipped. I spent $100. I made $100. It's like, this ain't working. So that's one of the reasons I stopped it. But once again, many people who are wedded to making money one way, they can't stop. It's like crack. It's like, I got to make money this way. I can't do anything else. So they have this situation where they are just kind of stuck. I mean, there are people who hate Amazon, who hate eBay, but they don't know any other way to make money, and that will, that they couldn't take a job that would make them that kind of money. So they're just stuck. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. Daniel Moody, can you do a program about how to create a holding company, how to structure it properly, and how to list companies underneath it, and how to have legal documentation to protect all your assets? I already got that. It's called Fat Cats. Well, it's the Millionaire Toolkit. Plus, what I'm going to do is revamp that for disruptive money. I'm going to leave everything where it is because there's some people freaking out. It's like, oh, no, Hustlers Kung Fu is going to Hustler Kung Fu Life Skills is going to stay. I'm going to continue to sell courses. I'm going to continue to support them. But with disruptive money, because with this deal I got to create a separate I already did it. I created a separate real estate holding company. And then the way that I'm going to list property, I'll talk about that. But this is going to be very different. And I'm not going to put it on YouTube for free because most folks, you can't even do this, even if you know how to do it, because you don't have the money. That's going to be the barrier. And that's the barrier that's happening. Let's see. 285 property. Did you go aftermarket? I went for both. I got a real estate agent. I'm able to look at an MLS and see what's on the market, what's pending. $285 property. And that's a really important part. Get customers. Because a lot, because I have a feeling he already has a business. But many people go ahead and get the business credit. Go ahead and set up their LLC. And they don't know how to sell and they don't know how to market. This kills people. I've known many smart, brilliant people fail at business because they don't know how to sell. They don't know how to market. I've seen people who did not even graduate high school, but they worked their ass off. They learned how to sell. They learned how to market, and they're fucking multimillionaires now. It's an invaluable skill. Steve Jameson, desktop's great for long form, mobile more for short term advertising. You can get away. Some of those videos that I did were hour long. And I got 80% watch through. See, this is one of the things that you have to understand. Well, first of all, before I have this conversation, then we're going to get back into the hustle business, then matriculate that to regular business. The main problem with this channel is it has way too many topics on it. That's the biggest problem this channel has. When I can put paid traffic on the video and someone watches 80% of it, the content's good. But YouTube does not work like that. YouTube works on how your channel is set up, and they they try to predict what you guys are going to watch. So here's a channel that's got dating advice on it, business credit, storage auctions. It's just too much. It's just way too much. So YouTube doesn't really know where to place me. Disruptive Mail is 6 months old, and it got more views last month than this channel. But it's more focused. There was one. How many of y'all know Urban Meyer has been suspended for some Me Too action? He didn't do anything. I was about to put that video on Disruptive Mail, but Disruptive Mail isn't tracking, so that's going to be on Policy and Conduct, because it's a very deep issue that really affects a lot of people. But with that said, what we're going to do with Disruptive Money is everybody's going to get an LLC. Everyone's going to create a hustle. Now, why do you get an LLC for a hustle? Because that's going to be your first holding company. You want to age, because many people have great ideals, but once again, they're on the sidelines. They're on the sidelines for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. If you had created an LLC and just did moderate activity and your LLC was 10 years old, that's an asset. So everyone's going to get an LLC, everyone's going to get a hustle, and everyone's going to set up their banking, because like I said, with my client who's paying me $50K a month, there was so much cleanup that I had to do before we got into the additional consultant. And the cleanup alone realized double revenues. And we're going to talk about business processes. So we're going to talk about marketing. We're not talking about it on YouTube. I'm not doing it because I get people who will take this information and do nothing with it. Absolutely nothing with it. Yes, the little guy's going to get shoved out. The little guy ain't getting pushed out. The little guy is getting kicked out. I call it essentialism. Essentialism, I mean, there's just some things you do. Oh, yeah, there will be some affiliate marketing stuff going on. Archangel, business owners call that non-value added activities, relationships, excessive spending. No. Jamal, I want to get out the dope gun, but the money's too good. Many people who are caught up like that, because once you stop doing that, because this is one of the things that happens. When you get to a certain level of income, you develop certain appetites. It may not be cars. It may not even be a house. It's going to be something. You may like to be traveling. You might need to be in a new location every weekend. There are people who are doing certain things. They travel 20, 30 times a year. They're on a plane 20, 30 times a year. So it's hard to let those appetites go, because once you quit doing whatever you're doing, whether you hate it or not, there's nothing to replace it. And that's a problem. L-arginine, essential amino acids. That's very interesting. It's all good. Archangel, haha, listen to G. If you cannot do it without money that you're already doing, to setting up yourself for failure. The business credit will come. If you're doing business, the credit will be offered. This is one of the things that we're going to do with the consulting. We're going to take regular people. We're going to school them. And something that I'm going to hire another person who's going to be the accountability person. This is going to be the person to call it. Because you know what a personal trainer is? I want you to think about it. Other than knowing a few more things, when I see a personal trainer with someone, they hire someone to make them accountable. Upper level athletes who work out very well on their own, they may hire someone for specific drills, specific conditioning. But in the gym I used to belong in before I turned my garage into a gym, That's all I saw. I just saw people paying someone to hold them accountable because they didn't have the personal discipline to get it done. Because, the trainers will always come to me and I was like, I don't need you. Oh, I'm here every day. And that's what we're going to do. So I'll get into it a little bit, but it's going to be me in the beginning. This is one of the reasons that I've made a lot of changes. But I'm going to call you up and it's like, have you done X, Y, and Z? Because this is what happens. And fortunately, when you're paying someone 40, 50K a month, you're going to do what they say. Most people, that's just too much money not to. But we're going to put you on the program. We're going to check in on you. And I'm going to hire someone whose specific job will be to do that. To be like, hey, have you done this? And I'm going to even tell you, I hadn't set it up yet because the calls will start the 7th. And once again, the 7th, the 8th, and I think the 9th are gone. How many of you heard of Slack? Slack. Slack, there's some other ones. So we're going to put you in there, create you a profile. So what was discussed in the previous conversation, it'll be noted, it'll be analoged, and then next conversation, did you do this? Now, this is where this consultant's going to be very different. We're not going to pass you along. You know how this little kid, he can't read and everyone just passes him along. Now he's an adult that can't read. We're not doing that. So whatever you don't do in the last session, we're going to work on that. We're not going to go past that. That's one of the issues that I had with my last group of folks and it's like, look, I'm paying you 50. I have no problem. I was like, look, you got to do this because if you don't do this, it ain't going to work. And we had those little battles and stuff, but that's a very, very important part of it. Let's see. Hold on. If he gets fired, that's going to change the game for sure. Oh, you talking about Urban Meyer? I think Urban Meyer will get fired. I think the fact that they suspended him because, like I said, I'll go into it in policy and conduct because essentially, I'll even go to it a little bit here. Real quick, why didn't she leave her husband? He's been abusing her since 2009, but she didn't leave. You know why? Assistant coaches under Urban Meyer make high six figures, almost $1 million, or they make 7 figures. These are the assistants. Now, why is she coming forward now? Why is she giving interviews? Because she's going to get a settlement from the university. She don't need him anymore. But once again, in the part I'm going to go into, at the same Ohio State University, there were some male wrestlers that were sexually abused on campus. And the people who did that are not under the same scrutiny or repercussions that Urban Meyer is. And this happened at Florida. Well, it moved around, but essentially it's going to be deep. Y'all want to check that out. Where's the link? You could drop the money for disruptive money. You can't really, let's put it this way. What I'm going to do, if you buy you buy Talk Dirty to me, you're going to get like $100 coupon. Well, hold on. I'm getting my, because I ain't really expect to talk about this. Let's just say this works for disruptive mail. You buy disruptive, you buy Talk Dirty to me. You get a coupon for $99, which gets you into the next course. Disruptive money is going to be very, very different in terms of accountability. Now, I haven't put out any pricing for disruptive consulting. I put out a few offers that are now closed. So I will put out another offer on the email list. I may do a short video today once I work out all the details for that, because I had some people who were like, boom, here's some money. So they're already set up. And then I'm going to, because, tomorrow was the official day that I was going to put out that, but I'll probably do it later on tonight, because I don't want a lot of foolery. I don't want a bunch of people who are looking to get rich real quick. I want people who are going to work their asses off. I want people who are thirsty for success, because I can give you the best training and give you the best everything. And if you just not motivated, it ain't going to work. I mean, it's just not. I had a recent situation like that where I had to cut this person loose. Just wasn't motivated to do the work. Was thinking that they deserve certain things they didn't deserve. And I was just sitting there like, it is what it is. Matthew Campbell, how can you sell using direct response if you don't have a following already? For example, what platform would you recommend? That's a great question. You're going to have to develop a following. Now, here's where money comes in. If you have money, you don't have to build. You can build a following very quickly if you have money. This is why we're going to talk about starting this hustle business, because let's say you make $70K a year, you got an extra $2,000 to put into your business, right? You can buy Facebook ads, give out an offer, and build up an email list and run webinars. You can do that very, very quickly, but you need the money to buy the Facebook ads. You need enough money to continue to buy the Facebook ads until you can scale up. Once again, it doesn't take a lot of money, but you got to live. You got to eat. You got to pay your bills. And typically, most people just don't have a lot of excess left over. And you're going to need $1,500 to $2,000 a month to start an internet business from scratch with no experience. If you're going to spend minimum, that's what you're going to need. Some people is like, hey, you can start with $5 a day. I would say that used to be the case, but the rules changed because I got this notification from this is called Wirecast, what I use to stream these videos. Facebook is not going to allow Wirecast, certain versions of Wirecast to stream anymore. They've changed the API. This is just streaming. What do you think they're doing to their advertising platform? It's always changing. I know people who were killing it, who now they're advertising on YouTube because Facebook isn't working the way that it used to. They won't tell you that. They'll still market on Facebook, but they're on YouTube for a reason, because YouTube, once you figure some stuff out, is still way cheaper, and you make more money and you sell bigger packages. So that's one of the things. So you got to build that following. That's one of the things you got to do. This is kind of one of the things. It's very hard for someone to get in the game, no money, no experience, and make things happen quickly. Let's say you want to do direct response marketing. Now, you need to build an audience. I know there are many people who's like, hey, building an audience is a waste of time. You don't have to build. Oh, I've seen the marketing. I'm just sitting there like. But once again, these people are spending like $300K a month. Now they're doing about $1 million a month, but they're spending about $300K a month on Facebook ads. And there's many people biting off of this vine. It ain't one person getting what's left. It's like 6 of them, which is good money. Don't get, but when they say we do $1 million a month, you do the breakdown. They're not getting $1 million a month with Facebook ads. And then you bring in taxes, half of that money, or no, more than half, because let's say 60% of that money's gone between Facebook ads and taxes. So they're getting 40% of that $1 million. So that's $400K split 6 ways, and that's the real money. Still good money. What is this? Let me bring out the calculator. I need to bring out the calculator for this because I'm a little hyped. I'm a little jittery. So 400 divided by 6. Whoa, that's not right. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. So that's $66,000 a month. Not bad money. That's about over 700K a year. If you can keep that momentum, if you can keep those sales going, it's not bad money. Yeah, Charlton is wanting to hire a hitman. All right, so what I'm gonna do, go below, and this is for disruptive money. Now, disruptive money, the first course is going to be how to sell from scratch. That's going to be the first course. We're going to start with basic stuff. There's no point in me going like, hey, if you got a credit score of 720, you can go out and get Chase Inc. You can get the American Express Platinum, pay $450, get all these business credit cards, go to this bank, get a $20,000 line of credit here, get one here. So all of a sudden now you sitting on like $400,000, $500,000 worth of business credit, right? No product to sell, no way to sell it, no audience. Most people who do that, it ends up going very bad. And I'm just going to tell you this because I know a few. And now if I was to do that, and I'm going to tell you why I don't do that. That's actually a good place to go. One of the reasons that I am not, and I have a different business model, and I'm not pushing on business credit, is I force myself to make more money. It's like, okay, I wake up most days like, what can I do to make more money? How can I serve more people? So it puts me in a position where I can fund all my stuff out of cash flow. That's just a much stronger position because let's say things crash. I don't have no debt to pay back. I just have to moderate my spending. So that's one of the reasons that I am not doing this. And once again, debt is good if you have a situation where debt works. Just for what I do, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to go out and get a lot of business credit just to have when I don't need it. That's one of the things, and that's what a direct response model will do for you. It will put cash in your pocket without having to go into debt, without having to, once again, I'm not criticizing debt. Like, give you an example. I used to go in debt all the time for storage auctions. Like public storage used to take credit cards. Sometimes when there was a unit that was a killer unit, I only spent like $5,000 or $7,000 in a handful of times, but put it on the credit card. Start selling stuff, pay that credit card before, because typically with a regular credit card, you got like almost 2 statements where you can pay and not pay interest. So that's like almost like a 59-day interest-free loan. Did that, paid the money back, made more money. Yeah, that makes sense. But just to have business credit for potential opportunities, you're going to do something stupid like take a trip, buy a car, or my favorite, I want to get business credit to get into real estate. Very few people, that's just not going to work well. It's just not. I learned all my sales from Zig Ziglar. Personal training is one of my side hustles. These aren't secrets. This is stuff people need to know, Von B. Charlatan, 100% agree. Regardless of where you are, you need to learn drive traffic. That's the one thing that we're going to work on. Curious ways, but the first course is going to be like how to sell. That's it. It's going to launch September 1st. And the platform is going to be very different. The energy is going to be very different because when I'm going to learn from my mistakes, because there's a lot of information, because everyone that bought Talk Dirty, I appreciate you guys, because if you notice, this course is longer. One of the situations that I got into hanging around fancy people and stuff was trying to create fast courses, make them short, make them small, make them so people can get through them. I'm not doing that. I'm going to give you what you need. I'm going to the old school. Back in the day, they didn't that bring down math to where it's like you had to raise your level. You had to raise your game up to where they were. They didn't bring it down. So talk dirty to me is probably going to be, it's already probably 3-4 hours. It may be 10 by the time I'm done with it. 10 hours of good, concise, timeless information to improve your dating life. So how to sell from scratch is going to be the same way. I'm going to build it out correctly. I'm not going to build it for like, hey, I only have a little time, man. You got something that I can do? No. You're just going to have to do what I did. Earl Nightingale, Lead the Field. I listened to that thing several times. I had to make the time. I had to do the work, and I got the results. So it's not going to be some quick little easy course. Nope. I'm moving away from that. It's going to have in it what it needs to have in it. And if it needs for me to be 10 hours, it'll be 10 hours. It will not. I'm not doing that anymore because I've learned a lot of stuff the last 2 years. And part of it is when you're training people, there's a 2-step process. One, you have to have good information. 2, you have to have accountability. And I've had some people who are very accountable to themselves, and I haven't really been pushing the re-accountability thing where now it's going to be mandatory. You just going to have to show up. Because even with how to sell from scratch, which will not be, quote, the real, it won't be like the personal coaching. And I'll say, once again, I'll put out a video defining exactly what that is. But it will have a support element, an accountability element to it. This is how I'm going to build out all of these financial sales courses in the future. They will not be like just hit it and quit it. And probably I'm going to do it the same way that I did Talk Dirty. So the price will probably be $200-$300. That'll be the opening price. And when I finish it, it'll probably be a $1,500 to $2,000 product. Because there are many things that I take for granted that need to be in the course. Someone I was working with kind of pointed that out because I just make assumptions that are not really good assumptions. Like, oh, they already know that. No, you don't. No, you don't. And that's one of the reasons that you literally have to sometimes get into the weeds. Like, how do you find a customer? Because everyone says, get a customer. All right, how do you get a customer? What is a customer? What's a client? How do you get them? Well, do you talk to them? I mean, once you start breaking it down like that, it turns into a different level of course. So that's what we're going to do. What is that? Let's see. All right, I will be putting it out tomorrow. Today is Thursday, so I'll definitely be putting it out. Yeah, because I haven't decided if it's going to be Slack or the other one, but it's going to be pretty much like Goldmine. It's going to be structured. It's going to be very, very structured. 285 passed along like athletes, pretty much. I mean, you got guys in the NFL right now who can't fucking read. That's just disgusting. What's up, Mentor? Frozen Creative LLC. Can a brother do $200 a month on FB ads and grow? Yeah, you can. It's going to be very slow. See, one of the things you have to do is once you figure out what your numbers are, dial it in, you're going to have to throw as much money at that as quick as possible because Facebook's going to change, the marketplace is going to change, and you don't have a lot of time. This is why the people who do, because there's one guy, I'm going to have him on Digital Money. He's very good at YouTube ads, and he's had to change his program 6 times in the last 3 years. They keep changing stuff. So you go ahead and you spend $200, and you think that you're going to be able to spend $200 for like a year or two, and it's not going to change, you're in for a very, very rude awakening. Exactly, Matthew. If you got the money, you can buy a following, use paid ads. But if you don't got the money, you have to be patient and build organically. Been there, got the T-shirt. What happened to you, 285 Property, with the business credit? I'm interested. Archange, yeah, I've been telling all these people trying to make millions tomorrow, spending all this money to grow organically. When you get credit investors, you can scale and not have a ton of debt. Yeah, because the thing is, Emily Weiss, Glossier, she worked on her blog for 3 years before she had a product. But she had all this information, and she was able to go to, I forget the chick's name. She got $1 million just like that because her information was, her research was so solid. Yeah, traffic is everything. Von B, swear, if half the people I've met in Planet Fitness food with me only because they think I'm working out most all the time, so I take advantage of it. I just push them harder, and that's it. Pretty much accountability, man. Accountability. Ben's, you at the flea market? It's been so long since I've been a part of that world. I forgot that. I think Thursday is a good flea market day. One day at a time, Ben, but that's a good move. Charlton, paid ad spend stop when you stop paying. That's why they recommend the slower organic methods, not based on paid ads. Collect the gold coin. Oh, man. That's cool. Archie, you don't lose weight and keep it off and get gains by working out, not breaking the sweat. Just one day a week, you have to put out in the work. Man, you ain't kidding. You're not kidding. Joseph, no, I am not using any paid traffic whatsoever right now. I'm trying to let my YouTube channel reset. Just a quick note for those of you who are using paid traffic with a YouTube channel. YouTube will treat your channel differently. It will reduce your organic reach. This is why Disruptive Mail, which has no paid traffic, it's growing organically. It's 100% free traffic. Thank you for the $10 frozen creative. Yeah, so we're going to get into a lot of stuff. Do this. Get on the Disruptive Money list so you'll be notified when I launch that course, because this is what's happening. There's a course that's being launched, how to sell from scratch, and there's coaching that's being launched, just to be clear, because sometimes I speak real fast and people kind of misconstrue some stuff. The coaching is one-on-one. It's very, very different, but the course is going to have everything you need in it to be a sales ninja. All right, so with that, Joseph, same thing. I once again, let me be clear. I am not spending any money on any traffic right now for anything, nothing. The T-shirt thing for merch isn't working because I don't have really good designs right now. I'm going to actually shut that store down and start another one. $285 property. I got business credit because I could. I just realized the business I got it was for wasn't what I really wanted to do. Dead money. Happens, man. All right, so what I want you guys to do is to, if you want the personal coaching, get on the consulting wait list. And if you want to earn a free course, get on Disruptive Money and recommend that to your friends. So with that, I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you over at Disruptive Mail, because there's gonna be some heat over there today. I mean, this story, y'all will judge me, but I'm used to it. I am so used to it. So like, comment, subscribe.